Alright, new day. Still got some stuff to do. Move the cords out of the way. Switch on the power entry switch and turn the emergency stop button to release it. Okay, so that's released. This is emergency stop, that's released. That is on, this is off. Okay. Never work inside the hat when the power is switched on. Good advice. Alright, they want me to double and triple check the wiring. So let's go up on top and check it out. Alright, get your workout for the day. Lift the Sintratec device for a few inches, and then you won't have to work out for the week. Especially when it's this far away. Oh my god! Oh. Holy moly. Okay. Exhaust fan system. That out of the way. Need to put in the SD card, and you gotta make sure it fits. If it doesn't fit, then you gotta adjust the bolts on here and sort of slide the metal around until that actually fits in there. And give you a little SD card, a little mini SD card, and then an adapter. Let's see if it fits. Oh, works. There you go. Step number 4, done. Still haven't put the cover on the laser yet. There's some rearranging that needs to be done with the wiring, but I'm pretty okay with what I got here. It says not to let them touch the steppers because they'll get hot. So I'm going to try to weasel some of these around. You see, that's like, this is in the commissioning, so I'm glad the 3D Chimera had mentioned that you should put heat shrink on there, and they provided the heat shrink, which is brilliant. Electrical tape would have been really clumsy and not the best solution, but the heat shrink on there looks great, and it's a lot easier to adjust if you need to. The electrical tape would have been bad. Probably could use electrical glue or like that electrical paint. That might be okay as well. So that's sealed up and good. It's good, 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 good. All right, good. Lamp wiring. Really not a fan of the lamp setup on this thing. I hope I never have to replace a lamp or the lamp wiring, because it's going to take some disassembling. Okay, so the lamp wiring is in. You know, they say it's such a big deal because if the lamp wiring isn't right, then it doesn't work. Obviously the front is the easy one, the one that I couldn't really tell right from left until I saw this diagram here in the commissioning document. This would have been a perfect drawing to have in when you're assembling it, because the orientation didn't make any sense. So when it flipped, was this left and right? Was this left and right? Was it this way and then looking from the front of the machine? Was it this way looking from the top? I don't know. I couldn't really tell what was left or right. So labeling it didn't really help, because labeling it, the orientation didn't matter. So there's a drawing that they just put on here that basically explains now which one's left and right, looking from the underside, from the front of the machine. I don't know, just look at the drawing. It's left and right. It should be just labeled something else, like hinge side and not hinge side. Then you know the lamp that's near the hinge is the hinge side, and then the lamp that's not on the hinge side, the handle side, would be on the handle side, or something like that. I don't know, just that would make more sense to me than left and right, because left and right can mean different things. Insert the blue fuse. Oh, we gotta put a fuse in this thing. The blue fuse should be over there on, and it is not. It is not fused right now. We have an unfused setup. This guy down here is the fuse holder. Put a fuse in. I know I saw him somewhere around here. They give you 6. I'm glad they give you extra, but I'm also a little worried that this must be a common thing, taking the top off this thing so you can go and fiddle with the fuses. If that's the case, I'd rather have this thing fused on the outside. And there you go. Connect the power cable to your, oh, Jesus. I mean, I'm glad it's labeled, but the one thing in here that I knew instantaneously was the power cord. It's like, it got weird shut-off switches and stuff that I've never used on any of my projects. And there's no label on them. It's just, oh, there's an image of some weird thing. But the power cord has a sticky, gooey, fused piece of tape on it. Ugh, it's totally all melted on. Melted on my hands now. I'm gonna use a wipe to clean it up so I don't have to do this again. Now we work inside the hat. Always turn the power off and unplug the power before doing anything inside the hat. Connect your USB to your computer. Huh. Pretty simple interface. Live with that. Connect the USB cable. I don't know what to do about that lens. So there's a lens here. I think it's supposed to go into this little slot right there. I better look it up first. It's in the hat instructions. I remember that part. Okay. All right, I guess it wants me to turn it on. Let's plug this thing in and like watch it break. All right, I'm gonna plug this thing in. I should have a fire extinguisher handy just in case, which I do. Trust me. Okay. Nothing's on fire yet. Now I could turn it on, see what happens. Don't shock me. Oh, it's got lights and stuff on. Oh God, it's moving around. We had one stepper moving. Okay. Test the components. In this step, stepper motors and heating elements will be tested. Control the different elements. You have to use Sintratec Central. All the functions the software described in the manual. You'll need to check the 3 stepper motors working properly. Switch to powder. Okay. Are the lamps supposed to be on? The lamps are on. Oh, okay. Well, it's connected. I went to parameters. And then we go to powder and it turned on. Okay. Apply powder. All right, let's just see what up does. up is good on that side. Let's see if up is good on this side. All right, I think we're okay. A single step is so small. So the steppers seem to work. Secondly, you need to check if the heating elements and temperature sensors are working properly. Switch the tab to print and click heat up. Okay, light goes off. I don't know what you mean yet. Temperatures. So surface temperature is like pretty hot. Oh, because of the infrared light was on, I bet. All right, so it's dropping 87, 88 degrees, 87. Chamber temperature is 16 degrees. If everything is wired correctly, you'll notice the left lamp is much less bright. Let's check that out. And it is. Thank God. I can see the lamps, and the left one is a little less bright. So it looks like my surface temperature is about right in there. All right, let's heat it up and see what happens. Please don't burn down my house. Please. Well, the lamps are definitely on. I'm gonna blow a fuse in here. It's 1700 watts. 1700 watts. At a 110 puts it about 15 amps just on this one unit. And the coil is something like 5 times longer than the typical water heater element. So this thing's going to need its own circuit for sure. Check the position of the laser glass and must not cover the infrared sensor. So yeah, mine's covering it. I know that's for sure. It has to be pushed more toward the back. It's not covering it entirely, but it's covering it quite a bit. This drawing shows it. It's just sort of tangential to the circle. Well, it's hot as hell in there. It's at 140 degrees, and the chamber temperature is almost 50 degrees Celsius. So I gotta let this thing cool off before I can adjust the glass. So when I first installed this, I put the glass in wrong. There's a diagram on exactly how the glass is supposed to be set up. So I'm going to use my clean gloves that have really only been used to touch this glass, so they're pretty clean. Don't get any smudges on it. It's not the worst thing. It's easy to take out and clean if you have to, which you have to clean it every few prints anyway. And it has these little tabs they call bints, I think. It needs to be slid back more. And the reason why the glass needs to be pushed back is there is a sensor that projects down into the chamber, and that sensor needs to be able to detect without the glass being over it. That looks pretty much exactly how they have it in their drawing. Oh, that's exactly the way that it's set up. It's not smudged, it looks clean, so I think I'm all set. Next thing is we're going to turn it back on, plug it in, and calibrate the laser. So I'll leave my gloves on. Okay, good. So it's not touching it. So there is a little tube that projects in front of the glass there. That tube can't touch the sheet metal. You can see there's insulation in between. It's about 2 millimeters thick. You gotta have that gap. Print out the laser calibration pattern, which 3D Chimera had provided me. Good. Move the platform all the way up for maximum accuracy. So we gotta move it all the way up. So, unscaled pattern. It's kind of warm in here. It's gonna melt my plastic. Ooh, it fits in there perfectly. All right, laser wrap protection. Love me tender, love me true, never let me go. Hit the show on kit under calibration pattern. You'll hear things moving. All right, well, let's get ready for moving. It's like wobbling a lot. Turn the laser key clockwise to activate the laser. Okay, so turn it on. Now we're going to turn the laser on. Okay. You can see a hell of a lot more on the phone, but nothing through the eyepiece, so. Okay. Looks like it's going through okay. Let's see if I turn this light off. Still can't really tell. Safety protection. You can kind of see the laser a lot better on. I think it's got to go to the center more. Stop. Alright, we're going to turn it back on, see if we can get this thing working again. Turn off the light. We're centered on the, we're almost centered on the circle. Feels like we're centered right on the line. Should be a pattern down here if this is centered right, but it's not. Another thing I used was a cell phone. I think it was pretty clever, if I do say so myself. I used a flashlight option, and you know, these things are really bright and they're really small. And the benefit of that is, if you want to calibrate the laser, it was a lot of work. I spent a long time sort of going back and forth calibrating the laser, trying to get it to go through both prisms and then hit the Y galvo and the X galvo mirrors. And on top of that, it has to go down into the bed and then match the pattern while also going through this lens that's in between all this stuff. And I spent a long time and I never really got it. I couldn't really see it. When you're wearing the glasses, you don't see the laser beam. So you can't really see it. It's really hard to see. I turned off all the lights, couldn't really tell. So I did the opposite. I just turned on my light, this thing, laid it right at the crisscross of that pattern in the bed, so it's just laying there like this. And then the light shined up through the laser hole. It hit the first galvo, and then it hit the next galvo, and it went this way. But it was off somewhere. It went through the lens, and then I could see it like on the wall. So then I just adjusted the galvos until they shined directly into the prisms that went right into the laser. And right after that, then it was real easy. You just fine-tuned the laser beam that was down on your pattern. But at least this got you 95% of the way there, a lot faster than trying to tweak the galvos. And you're like, I can't really see the laser. That was a huge waste of time. Just take like a bright cell phone light or any sort of spotlight, but I don't know, I don't really have a light that's this small anywhere else. So maybe a cell phone light's the only real light to do that. Laser, 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 laser. The next component here is we have to turn a screw that's on this side here. And I'm probably gonna turn the power off for this one because just a hunch. Maybe not, who knows. I like to live life dangerously. So here is what we're gonna mess with, and there's a screw on the side with one of the capacitors. So this side has two capacitors down there. There's one over here, so you want to turn the top screw. Let me grab something metal so I can touch it for you. All right, I'm gonna kill the power. It's this one right here, the opposite end of our 7-peg or 7-prong plug. So this is the one we're gonna turn. There's a little itty bitty screw there. Put it in there, and we just. Bigger than the Y again. There we go. Alright, that matches up pretty well. Bed. It's in the center. Oh yeah. It's in the center of both of them, so it looks good. Bitchy wires getting in the way. Holy shit. Can't believe it actually went in. A lot of slack here.
Done.
I just finished the assembly on the Sintratec Kit. And it wasn't too bad. It wasn't easy, it wasn't hard.